Hey there! What time are you watching this video? Well, guess what? Time is exactly what we're talking about today. In fact, tenses is just another word for time. Imagine this. Suman is sitting on a magical chair, but not just any chair. This one has 3 special buttons. Curious, she presses the first button labeled past, and in an instant, she's whisked away to see herself as a 1-year-old child. A little giggle here, a little stumble there, but that's the past. It's already happened. Next, she clicks on the future button, and what does she see? She sees herself as a teacher, confidently guiding her students. It's like peeking into a crystal ball, showing us what's yet to come. Finally, Suman hits the present button, and she realizes she's right back where she started, sitting in what seems to be a time machine. But really, it's just life, right here, right now. And that's exactly what tenses are all about. They're like Suman's magical buttons, helping us talk about actions in the past, present, and future. Just like Suman's journey, our sentences have a way of moving through time. But before we jump into the nitty-gritty of tenses, let's quickly break down what makes up a sentence. Every sentence is like a small, complete story. It has 3 main parts: a subject, a verb, and an object. Let's take a simple sentence. She writes a letter. Here, she is our subject. The person who's doing the action. The action itself, writes, is our verb. And finally, a letter is the object, the thing that's being affected by the action. Now, keep your pens ready because we're going to dive into each tense and see how they work with our magical chair of time. Ready to explore the past, present, and future with me? Let's get started. Before we jump into today's lesson, let's take a quick look at EduQuest Horizon, your ultimate channel for mastering English. Whether you need grammar tips or engaging lessons, we've got it all. No matter if you're just starting out or refining your skills, join us on the path to English mastery. Ever wondered why we say, I wake up at 6 a.m., instead of, I am waking up at 6 a.m.? It's all about the simple present tense. It's like the heartbeat of our daily conversations. Ready to see how it works? Let's jump in. First up, we use the simple present tense to describe habits and routines. This is when you talk about things you do regularly or as part of your daily routine. For example, I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. It's something you do habitually. Next, we have general truths and facts. These are statements that are always true and don't change. For example, the sun rises in the east. It's a fact that everyone knows. Now, let's talk about scheduled events. We use the simple present tense for events that are on a schedule or timetable. Think of something like, the train leaves at 9 p.m. It's about what's planned to happen. Moving on to permanent situations. These describe things that are generally true and aren't expected to change. For instance, he lives in New York. It's a situation that's stable. We also use the simple present tense for instructions and directions. This is where you give clear, straightforward instructions. Like, you turn left at the next intersection. How about feelings, thoughts, and states? You use it to express how you feel, what you think, or your state of being. For example, she loves chocolate. It's about expressing something personal. Finally, we use simple present tense in newspaper headlines. The simple present tense helps us quickly share news. For example, government announces new policy. It's direct and to the point. Let's quickly look at the structure of simple present tense. Hope you are clear with simple present tense. Next, we have present continuous tense, a tense that's perfect for talking about actions happening right now or around this time. Whether it's a temporary situation or a future plan, the present continuous tense helps us express actions with a sense of immediacy and relevance. Let's start with actions happening right now. When you want to describe something that's occurring at this very moment, the present continuous tense is your go-to. Example, she is reading a book right now. Next, we have temporary actions or situations. Use this tense to talk about actions or situations that are temporary and happening around the current time. Example, I am staying at my friend's house this week. Now, let's move on to future plans or arrangements. This tense is also used for future events that are already decided or scheduled. Example, we are meeting them for dinner tomorrow. The present continuous tense can also describe actions happening repeatedly, especially when paired with the word always. It often adds emphasis or expresses annoyance. Example, he is always forgetting his keys. When talking about changing or developing situations, the present continuous tense captures the ongoing process of change. Example, the weather is getting colder. You can also use this tense for actions happening around now, even if they're not happening at the exact moment of speaking. Example, I am reading a great book these days. Finally, the present continuous tense is ideal for temporary habits, where you describe behaviors or habits that are temporary and occurring around the present time. Example, she is eating more vegetables these days. Here's the structure for the present continuous tense. See how straightforward tenses can be. Just focus on when to use them, and you'll get the hang of it. The present perfect tense is incredibly useful for connecting the past with the present. Whether you're discussing completed actions, life experiences, or ongoing situations, this tense helps you express ideas with clarity and relevance. The first use of the present perfect tense is to describe actions that have been completed at some point in the past without specifying exactly when. For example, I've visited Paris. The specific time isn't important, what matters is that the action is complete. Next, we use the present perfect tense to talk about past actions that have a present consequence or impact. Imagine this. He has lost his keys, so he can't open the door. The past action directly affects the current situation. Life experiences are another key area where the present perfect shines. When we talk about things we've done without mentioning when, we use this tense. For example, she has traveled to 5 different countries. This reflects on the experience up to now. When something has happened recently, we often use the present perfect tense, especially with words like just, already, or yet. For instance, I have already eaten lunch. This action is freshly completed. And the present perfect helps us express that. The present perfect tense also highlights achievements and accomplishments, especially when they are relevant to the present. For example, he has won 3 awards this year. Finally, the present perfect tense helps us describe changes over time. For example, the city has grown a lot since I last visited. This tense allows us to capture how things have evolved. Have a look at the structure of the present perfect tense. Hope it is clear. Present perfect continuous tense, a form used in specific contexts to describe actions that started in the past and continue into the present, or those that have recently stopped but still impact the current situation. Let's explore when and how you can use this tense effectively. First, we use the present perfect continuous to describe actions that began at a specific point in the past and are still happening now. For example, she has been studying for 3 hours. Next, this tense is perfect for highlighting actions that have recently finished but still have present consequences. For instance, I have been working on this project, and now I'm exhausted. We also use the present perfect continuous to emphasize the duration of an ongoing action. Think of sentences like, we have been waiting for you for over an hour. Finally, the present perfect continuous is ideal for actions with no specific start or end time, such as, I have been feeling a bit tired lately. Using the present perfect continuous tense helps convey the ongoing nature of actions, emphasizing their duration, relevance, or effect on the present moment. It's a powerful tool for making your communication precise and engaging. Hope you've got a good grasp of the present perfect continuous tense. For more insights into other tenses and to keep up with all our latest videos, Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon.